Hey everybody, Megan Payton here with the Real Estate Firm. I was just driving into work listening to a national real estate podcast that I listen to pretty regularly, and the topic they were discussing this morning was how to make your offers more competitive in today's marketplace. And I just wanted to kind of quickly touch base with all of you about this because I know a lot of you are considering purchasing coming into spring, maybe even the summer, and the market's not going to shift so much that we don't have to be concerned about what you're writing in your offer. So I wanted to kind of prepare you for what you're going to be looking for when you go to write your offer. And the first thing would be price. Price is always the most important. We always tout that. You want to make it a good deal for your buyer, but you also want to make it a really good deal for the seller. If it's not right for them, then they're not going to accept it. So price is definitely something to be considered. However, it's not the only term of the purchase agreement that's going to make or break your offer to the seller. A lot of people don't realize that it's not just about price. You could be well over the threshold of price for those sellers, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to accept it because the other terms may not fall in line with what they're needing. The first real thing that you should be considering is, are you pre-approved? If you can submit your offer with a pre-approval attached to it, it's going to look really good to a seller. They're going to say, wow, this person's already prepared. They've got their ducks in a row, and we know that they can get it from this point to closing. So we want to attach those pre-approvals to all of your offers. So make sure that you're talking with a lender or a broker before you go to write an offer with your agent, because they need to be able to see that pre-approval. Another thing to consider would be contingencies. If you have contingencies on your offer, such as, I need to sell my property before I purchase yours, that can be a real turnoff to a lot of sellers, especially in today's market where they're facing a lot of buyers and a lot of buyers are writing offers. They may not need to accept an offer that's contingent. There are definitely markets and times where it's okay to have contingencies, and right now, if this is something you have to have, it can definitely be included, but just something to consider is that if you can avoid it, you want to try. Another thing would be closing costs. A lot of first-time home buyers, even second or third-time home buyers, are asking for closing costs to be paid by the seller. That can range anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000, $6,000. If you include those in your purchase, a lot of times sellers may see that, but compared to another offer that's not asking for closing costs, they may just write it off completely and say, I don't even want to deal with it because I don't want to have to pay closing costs. A way to combat that a little bit would be to add it into your purchase price. So if you're asking them to pay $2,500 because you don't have cash in hand and you still would like this home, add it into your loan amount with the purchase price. $2,500 is not going to change anything dramatically on the payment amount for you monthly, but it's going to help you secure a spot in this home. So something to consider with how you approach closing costs. Earnest money and down payment are really important. If you are putting down a big down payment, that can look really enticing to a seller because they know you're serious. Also the same with earnest money. Typical earnest money in this market is about 1%. However, if you came in and put 2 to 5% down as your earnest money, which would come back to you at closing, if you go all the way through to closing, that can look really enticing to a seller because they know you're really serious and you're really interested in their property enough to put down a little bit more in due diligence and letting them know that you have faith that this is going to go through. So considering how much you put down in earnest money can definitely help your case when it comes to submitting an offer. And then the last thing is closing date. Closing date can make or break a deal because a lot of sellers have an idea of what they're looking for. Your really awesome agents are going to typically call the listing agent ahead of time and ask them, what is their closing date timeline looking like? What are they needing? And hopefully it's going to align with yours. However, if you don't know that or the other agent won't supply that information, typically standard would be 30 to 45 days. You have to give the lender enough time to do their job, but then also have it close within a timely manner. If you're asking for 3 to 6 months out, most sellers are going to just go ahead and disregard that or counter you back and say, we want it to close in 30 days. If a seller puts their home on the market, they typically want to sell it pretty quickly. So that's something you also need to consider. I really want to talk to you guys about not being afraid of multiple offer situations either. In today's market, it's very competitive, and while inventory may be going up here in the spring and the summer, so are buyers. So we may not see a drop off of multiple offer situations anytime soon. And because that's the case, I don't want you to be afraid of it. It's just really important that you make your offer the very best offer the first time around so that you can have kind of a leg up when it comes to facing multiple offer situations. And then the very last thing is that full price doesn't equal a bad deal. A lot of buyers are really offended when we tell them that this house is worth full price. They've priced it well. That doesn't equal a bad deal. If you really love the home, and this is a home that you could see your family growing in or you staying in for several years, the market dictates the price. So I want to kind of reiterate that full price does not equal a bad deal. You don't necessarily have to go well over full price, but sometimes it's necessary when you're up against multiple offers to increase the price just a little. Smart agents like us sometimes price the home exactly where it needs to be, exactly where it would appraise by an appraiser, so that we can draw out as many multiple offers as possible and then bid those against each other. I know that's not fun for the buyers, but it's in the best interest of the seller, and a lot of agents are doing that right now. So just anticipate that if you end up paying full price or just a little above full price, that doesn't equal a bad deal. And typically we're going to see that appraisals are matching that because home prices are up right now. So I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about that quickly. I know a few of you are considering selling, but a lot of you are considering buying here in the spring and in the summer, and these are all little things that you may not be aware that are going to make a huge difference when it comes to writing an offer for those sellers. So if you have any questions, you always know how to reach us. You can reach out to us via cell phone at 317-501-4309 or on the Facebook page or via email, whatever's best for you guys. But we're always happy to help you when it comes to purchasing a home, and we're always happy to walk you through the process and give you as much information as possible, because these are the things that are going to really make or break whether or not you get the home that you love. So anyway, have a great day, everybody. We will talk to you later.